Personal history. I, David Clark, was called by the Lord Jesus Christ to follow him on the 16th of January 1970, and I was not connected with any particular church. I learned some gospel truths from Christians who took time to help me, and I began to read the Bible immediately. I soon realised it was important to read a proper translation of the Bible and not a modern paraphrase version, and I began to read the King James Version of the Bible once I realised the doctrines of grace were those taught in the Bible. I joined the Beaton Stricter Particular Baptist Church in 1976. However, I withdrew from the church over matters of conscience in 1984 and wrote a full account of my secession from the Beaton Stricter Particular Baptist Church in my book Beaton Crisis, 1984. I have republished a full account of this matter in Let Christian Men Be Men, 2nd edition, which includes my complaint against the Association of Grace Baptist Churches Limited. This association took over the affairs of the Beaton Chapel and property and sold our chapel in 2006. My secession for the Beaton Church was not a termination of my church membership, as our traditional church rules state clearly that only the church can terminate one's membership. The Beaton Church did not terminate my membership as they wanted me to return. My secession was due to the church's failure to preserve the teaching and doctrines of particular redemption as clearly taught in our trust deed, and so my withdrawal was honourable and lawful and according to right principles. This is told in the Beaton Crisis 1984 and now in Let Christian Men Be Men. In December 2002, the Beaton Chapel was closed for worship as most of its church members had died, and it was my right as a church member to take on the responsibility of our chapel and elect new trustees or act as sole trustee, as the former trustees wanted to resign as they were too old to continue. This did not happen, and the Association of Grace Baptist Churches acted unlawfully when they refused to give me a copy of the memorandum of election and appointment of them being the new trustees of our chapel according to the terms of our trust deed of 1831. My request was denied, and it became clear that the Association of Grace Baptist Churches Limited acted unlawfully, and that the memorandum of the choice of new trustees submitted to the Land Registry on the 5th of February 2003 was in error, as they had not been elected as trustees by the church. This rule is clearly set down in our Beaton Trust Deed and Indenture of 1831, of which I had a handwritten copy of the deed taken by myself when I joined the church in 1976, which has now been republished in Let Christian Men Be Men, 2nd edition. The Association of Grace Baptist Churches are not the lawful trustees of the Beaton Chapel.